All right, so this is practice quiz number 1 that reviews sections 3.1 and 3.2 that are going to be on Wednesday's quiz. You need to submit not only these questions on big ideas, but you also need to submit your work paper. So if I were you, I would be getting out a piece of paper and writing down the work that we're going to do through these 10 questions so you can submit that paper when you finish and you can be done with today's math e-learning. All right, so section 3.1, 3.2, number 1 says use the figure to find the measures. Okay, when you see that word measures, that tells you that we're going to be labeling with degrees, right? We want the actual angle degrees here of angle 1 and angle 2. Okay, so I'm going to actually start with angle 2. What is angle 2 equal to? This is for anybody. Go ahead and just shout it out. You don't need to raise your hand. Just shout it out.
46 degrees.
That's exactly right. So angle 2 is equal to 46 degrees. And they have the degree symbol there for you. Just go ahead and make sure you write that degree symbol on your work paper. Again, bad habit to get into is to not label stuff on your work paper and then try to remember to do that on the quiz. Now, this is not stated in the question, but can someone tell me what kind of relationship makes angle 2 congruent with the 46-degree angle? What kind of angle relationship are we seeing here?
Alternative interior.
Alternate interior, nice job. Alternate, which I'm going to abbreviate, interior. That's what makes them congruent, is because they're on opposite sides or alternating sides of the transversal, and they're inside the parallel lines, okay? Now, if angle 2 is 46 degrees, then what does that make angle 1? You know that they sit on a straight line. There's your hint. They sit on a straight angle. So what's angle 1 going to have to be? Again, this is for anybody. Shout it when you got it.
$134.
134. Well, I'll tell you what, if Xander's the only one answering questions, we'll be here for a while, because I need everybody to be involved here. So angle 1 should be 134 degrees, and you should get 134 degrees. I should have written that here. You get 134 degrees because you do 180 minus 46. That's how you get the 134 degrees. What do we call angles that add up to 180?
Supplementary.
Supplementary, exactly. So even though it doesn't tell you in the problem to give the angle relationship, that's something that I would want you to do on your quiz Wednesday. So I'm just going to go ahead and write that down so we can get some more review. So angle 2 is equal to 46 because it's alternate interior with the given angle, and angle 1 is supplementary to both of them, and so you just subtract from 180. All right, let's move on to number 2. Number 2 wants us to do it again, but it wants us to do 4 angles. Okay, and it says measures. So that means we're going to give the degree symbol and we're going to give their actual measures here. Let's start with angle 1. What is the measure of angle 1 and why?
Oh, 113.
That's exactly right. 113 degrees. Don't forget your degree symbol there. Okay. Ugh. There we go. What makes angle 1 congruent to the 113-degree angle? What kind of relationship are we seeing here?
Corresponding.
They are corresponding angles. Nice job. Again, corresponding means the same angle, same direction and everything, just on the other line. So angle 1 is going to correspond with the same angle up above, which is the 113-degree angle. Good. Okay. Angle 2. What's angle 2 going to measure? Someone other than Xander or Carson, who answered the last one.
67.
67 degrees. Thank you both. Yeah, 67 degrees. We get that by doing 180 minus 113. In fact, all 8 of these angles up here, there are 8 total, are going to either measure 113, all the obtuse angles, or 67 for all the acute angles. And that we just have to figure out why. Well, its relationship to the given angle is that it would just be supplementary because you knew that you had to subtract 180 minus 113 to find 67 degrees. In fact, angle 3 is also going to be 67 degrees because it's also supplementary to the given angle, although you can see it's actually vertical from angle 2. So angle 2 and 3 are going to be congruent because they're vertical to each other. Remember, vertical angles are another one of those angle relationships that makes them congruent. But I'm going to put supplementary because I'm relating it back to the given angle and not angle 2. And then angle 4. What is angle 4 going to measure?
113 degrees.
Nice job. Thank you, Chloe. 113 degrees. And Chloe, do you know why angle 13? No, sorry. Do you know why angle 4 is congruent to the 113 degree angle? Do you know what kind of angle relationship is going on there?
Is it alternate exterior?
That's right. Yes, nice job. Alternate exterior. They are alternate exterior angles. So again, they are on alternating sides of the transversal and they're outside the parallel lines, which makes them exterior. That's exactly right. Alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding and vertical angles are all congruent to each other. So if you see 2 angles are congruent, you're going to use one of those 4 reasons as to why they're congruent. Okay, moving on to number 3. Number 3 says determine whether each statement is true or false. First one, if the measure of angle 2 is 65, then the measure of angle 5 is 65 degrees. So I'm going to highlight this. If angle 2 is 65 degrees, they think angle 5 should also be 65 degrees. True or false?
False.
False. That is false. They are not alternate interior. They're just interior. They're not on different sides of the transversal. And so for that reason, angle 5 is not going to be equal to angle 2. Actually, it'd be 180 minus 65, which means they're supplementary to each other, but not congruent. So that's false. Okay, next one. If the measure of angle 3 is 74, then the measure of angle 6 is 74. If angle 3 is 74 degrees, would angle 6 then also be 74 degrees?
Yes.
Dawson's shaking it or nodding his head. Yeah, the answer is yes. And what is the reasoning behind that? What kind of angles are angle 3 and 6?
Alternate exterior.
Alternate exterior. That's right. Same one Chloe just did previously. It's true because they're alternate exterior angles. Okay. All right. Let's move on to C. C says if angle 4 is 113 degrees, then angle 7 has to be 67 degrees. So if angle 4 is 113 degrees, then angle 7 has to be 67 degrees. I feel like these are the same numbers we used in our last problem. They are. So do you guys think that's true or false? Thumbs up from Carson. So true. Yep. Yeah. Again, they're interior, but they're not alternate. So they're not going to be the same size. They're going to be supplementary. And if you check the math, that does add up to 180 degrees. So that is true because they are supplementary angles. And then letter D says if the measure of angle 1 is 100, then angle 8's got to be 80. Now I'm checking the math on that, and that does add up to 180 degrees. The question is that going to be true or false then? What do you think, Carson? You're muted, Carson. You're trying to talk. There you go.
Sorry, wait, what was the question? My cat kept hissing at me. Sorry, she was attacking me.
Is
What was
angle
the
1,
question?
should angle 1 be, if angle 1's 100 degrees, should angle 8 be 80 degrees?
No.
No, why not? What kind of angles are angle 1 and 8?
Are they alternate exterior?
They are, yeah, alternate exterior angles should be congruent to each other, not supplementary. So that's gonna be false. They should be the same exact size. All right, number 4. Number 4, describe the relationship between each pair of angles. Obviously, hey guys, they're hammering hard this angle relationship stuff. So make sure we know our stuff going into Wednesday's quiz. Angle 1 and 5. What's the relationship between angle 1 and 5? Are they corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, or none of those three? Angle 1 and 5.
Corresponding.
That's true. They are corresponding. They're the exact same angle. And when I say the exact same angle, I don't mean the exact same size. I mean, they literally are the same angle, opening up the same direction and everything, right? So they are corresponding, and so they're going to be congruent to each other, and that's because they're corresponding. B says 2 and 7. Are angles 2 and 7 corresponding, alternate interior or alternate exterior? Shane, what do you think?
Alternate exterior.
Shane, you are correct. Thank you for participating. And then the last one is 6 and, oh no, not the last one. I guess it goes down to D. C says angle 6 and angle 8. Angle 6 and angle 8. Are they corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, or none of the above? I can put the Jeopardy music on if you want me to.
None of the above.
None of the above, yeah. Angles 6 and 8 sit on the same line. They should be supplementary to each other, which is not one of the options. And so we can make that an option. They are supplementary, which makes them not any of the other three. All right. And then the last one, D, is angles 4 and 5. 4 and 5. What kind of angle relationship do we got going on there?
Alternate interior.
Perfect. Alternate interior. They're inside the parallel lines. Alternate interior is correct. All right, moving on to number 5. Now we're switching to section 3.2, which dealt with interior and exterior angles of triangles. Owen, can you remind me what all 3 angles, interior angles of a triangle should add up to?
180.
That's right. That's called the triangle sum theorem. And so all 3 angles are going to add up to 180. So the way I would want you to show your work on this is I would want you to start by putting the letter X. We're going to write an equation. And you can either write X plus 20 plus 114 equals 180. Or if you'd rather, you can jump right to this, combine your like terms and write X plus 134 equals 180. I'll be honest with you, that's probably what I would do. Then you don't have to bother by putting the subtraction, because we know that subtraction is how you undo an addition equation. So what is 180 minus 134?
46.
46. Okay, now I want you to notice something. It says find the value of X. It doesn't say find the measure of X. So I don't need a degree symbol. I can just put X equals 46. That's it. Number 6 also says find the value of X. If it would have said find the measures of the 3 angles, once I find X, I'd have to plug in to find the measures of the 3 angles, but it does not tell me to do that. In fact, it looks like the next one's going to do that. So we'll just do it there. So number 6, I know that X plus 12 plus X minus 9 has to all add up to equal 180 degrees. Notice I'm not using any parentheses because I'm just going to add these values together. I don't need the parentheses. Let's combine our like terms. Lizzie, can you tell me how many X's I'm going to have? Okay. And can you tell me what my constant is going to be if I combine 12 and negative 9?
3.
Also 3, yeah, so 3x plus 3 equals 180. If you want to start from here, I'm okay with that. If you want to do the combining like term step in your head and not have to write two things down, that's fine. But this is the minimum. I at least need you to start here. I mean, I don't want you to go any farther without writing it down. My next step would be to subtract 3 from both sides, which is going to leave me with 3x equals 177. And my last step is going to be divide by 3 from both sides. And what's that going to give me for x?
59.
59, okay. So x is going to be equal to 59. And again, it just said, what is the value of x? So once I write x equals 59, I don't need to go back in and find the measures. Although if I did, it'd be pretty simple because you know that's going to be 59. You're going to add 12 to 59 to get 71. And then you're going to subtract 9 from 59 to get 50. And then you can add those three together. And if they equal 180, you just check your answer and it works. All right, number 7. This one does say find the measure of the exterior angle. So once I find x, I'm not going to be done with it. And that's why someone might miss this question if they tried it on their own because they're not reading the instructions properly. So it's an exterior angle. Now we all know the interior, the triangle sum theorem which measures the interior angles, but oftentimes we forget the exterior angle theorem, which says that the measure of an exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two non-adjacent, which means not the adjacent one here, interior angles, which is x plus 90. I see way too many people on their quizzes. So I'm trying to erase this. I see way too many people try to add these three angles and set it equal to 180. It's like, what are you doing? It's not even inside the triangle. The 4x angle is going to equal the sum of the two non-adjacent interior angles, which is the x plus 90. So to solve this equation, what do I need to do to both sides?
Subtract x from both sides.
Thank you. Yeah, subtract x from both sides because you don't want your variable on two different sides. You want your variable on the same side. And so if we subtract x from both sides, that's going to give us 3x. And then that x is no longer there. So just 3x equals 90. Maddox, go ahead and finish it. What's x going to be then?
30.
30. Okay. So once I've got x equal to 30, it wants me to find the measure of the exterior angle. So I plug 30 in right there and I times it by 4. Julia, can you tell me what 30 times 4 is?
120.
Perfect. So I'm going to put 120 degrees as my answer, but I have to have my work so I know where that answer came from. All right, number 8. Write an equation for the value of y in terms of x and solve the equation for x. Okay. So write an equation for the value of y in terms of x. So y, the exterior angle, is going to be equal to the two non-adjacent interior angles, which is x plus 40. Looks a lot like a slope-intercept form equation, doesn't it? Y equals mx plus b. We did that a few chapters ago. Now it wants us to solve the equation for x, which means get x by itself. So if I have this equation, which has y by itself, and I want to get x by itself, I need to flip the x and the y around by subtracting x from both sides. So now the x is over here. And then I'm going to subtract y from both sides. So now the y is on the other side. So I've basically flipped them around. So what you're not able to do is just like literally move them their spots over. You can't do that because it's not going to result in the same equation. But I don't want negative x, I want positive x. I want x to be by itself with no negative sign. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to times everything here by -1, and that's just going to take the opposite of everything. And so that's going to give me positive x equals positive y minus 40. So essentially, if you flip the equation y equals x plus 40 and solve it for x instead, it's going to be x equals y minus 40. And if you're wanting to find out what x and y are, you're not going to be able to do that because we don't have enough information. All right, moving on to number 9. The figure shows a truss and construction of used in the construction of a building. The measure of angle 1 is 39 degrees. Find the measure of angle 2. Okay, so angle 1 is 39 degrees. So what I'm seeing here is 2 parallel lines that are crossed by a transversal. So if angle 1 is 39 degrees, what would angle 2 be?
39 degrees,
Also 39 degrees. And Xander, why is that?
because it's an alternative interior angle.
That's right. Angle 2 is going to be 39 degrees. Notice it says find the measure. So I'm going to put a degree symbol when I'm writing this on my work paper. And you're right. Alternate interior angles are congruent to each other. So I'm doing a lot of extra writing that the practice quiz doesn't actually say I need to write. Like, it doesn't say I need to know what angle relationship it is. I'm telling you that you need to know. You need to know that if you want to get a good grade on your quiz Wednesdays. You need to know those vocab words: alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding, vertical, and supplementary angles. Last question. Number 10, find the angle x in degrees that a wheelchair ramp makes with the ground. What kind of angle is angle x? What would I call that angle since it's outside the triangle?
Exterior angle.
Yeah, it's an exterior angle. And so exterior angles are equal to the sum of the non-adjacent interior angles. So the 85-degree angle plus the right angle, which is obviously 90. And so what is x going to equal then?
$175.
175 degrees. Okay, yeah. And so you can just put 175. It did say find the angle in degrees, but I noticed they didn't give us a degree symbol when we write our answer. So just put x equals 175. That's fine. Now, bonus question. What is this angle then? If x is 175 degrees, what's that small interior angle?
Five.
That's 180 minus 175 would be 5. And so we would say that this wheelchair ramp has an incline of 5 degrees. Now there's a law, there's an actual law that says that wheelchair ramps have to be between a certain degree. And so if you bump it up too big, it's going to be too steep, right? So you wouldn't want a 45-degree incline because no one's going to be able to wheelchair ramp when it's straight up, like when it splits your screen like that. That's going to be too difficult, especially when you're doing it for a long distance. And so there is a law that states they have to be within a certain range when you're talking about wheelchair ramps like that. So that would be, we would say this is a 5-degree incline then. All right, you guys have the questions. If you submit this and you get one of the answers wrong, email me, I'll unsubmit it. And then you might just need to watch this video to see which one, or to see what the correct answer is. But you guys should be ready to upload your work papers and then submit it on Big Ideas, and you should be done.